Hi, I'm Miriam Joy, and welcome to my studio. We like to shoot these fun little videos like you just stopped over, and I'm explaining some of the little fun things that I like to create to you. So today we're doing kind of a little gold treasure box or jewelry box or whatever you want to call it. I think this is a really fun technique, and you're going to be surprised how inexpensive this is. I started with just a plain simple wooden box, and these are really inexpensive. I paid 97 cents for mine, and a lot of people carry them. The dollar stores will a lot of times carry them in the craft sections. Walmart will have them, Michael's, Joann's, the different craft stores, so just look for them. One of the ways I colored it, which was the simplest and the fastest to me because you've got so much area to cover, plus you have your hardware, is I simply just took my gold spray paint and sprayed it inside and out and let it dry and started off of that. I started with a background of dark brown acrylic paint, so I just simply took my acrylic paint and base coated just the top areas. You don't want it quite as messy as I got it, or you could shade it down or something like that. So that part is how we completed that. We're actually going to do gold leafing on this. This is actually gold leafing. And a lot of people are scared to do gold leafing, but it's really an easy project. And it is so rich looking that I really encourage you to do that. You can find your gold leafing, it usually kind of comes packaged like that, but in the craft store, and you can find it in gold, and this one actually has some color to it, so mine's not solid gold, it's actually got some color, more of a metal leaf with color in it. But you also need the metal leaf adhesive glue to go with it as well. So what you do is always follow the manufacturer's instructions, but it always says to shake it well, and then I simply unscrew it, and I put it on with my brush. And I didn't put it on solid. I left some of the brown to show through here and there on it so that I don't have just one solid piece. And it's kind of a white milky color when you first put it on, and it tells you to let it dry till it's clear, and it takes about 30 to 60 minutes. So I've already pre-done that, and so once it's dry, we're going to put our gold leafing on, and I recommend doing it on a tray or a paper plate or something where you can pick it back up and put it back on or back in your sack to use again later. Now these are so delicate, they a lot of times will have 2 to 3 pieces on them, so when you pull them up, really look at them and make sure that they're not more than one piece. And we're just going to start covering this here and there, and that really is all there is to putting this on. I was reading the manufacturer's instructions. It says you can take a pair of gloves and put powder on the ends of them, and then that makes it easier if your hands are sticky. But I think those would kind of get in my way, so I just like to put it straight on, and see how we're just kind of rubbing it right on there. Sometimes they come in a little bit smaller pieces, and you may need the brush to help put them on, but we're just simply gonna cover this. And I tried to pick some bigger pieces out today, so we're not here for 15 minutes just doing this part. Now remember, I said I have some pieces that aren't sticky of the brown, so we're going to try and get this on as quickly as possible. But there really is nothing to it. It really is an easy, don't breathe on it either. Little flakes went flying there. And I was trying to get some big ones, and I thought I had way more than I needed, but boy, they look Now this guy's dove folded in half, so we want to spread him all the way out and get him on there. And like I said, there's sometimes more layers. And then you can also get the smaller pieces where you have to put them on just a little bit more. So we've got that part pretty good. And like I said, this that I'm using today has more color in it than just the gold does. And the gold one is nice with just when you want to do gold. But I want the color in this for this copper because we're actually going to use a copper piece to accent it on top, which I think you're really going to like. Okay. And I've got to pull some more pieces out of my bag here. Oh, there's some nice pieces, and this has got like 3 or 4 pieces hooked together with it. So, and it's so fragile. Don't breathe on it like I just said as it goes flying across the room. But don't be afraid to use this with your artwork and just a little bit of it or more of it. It's really a neat technique to make your artwork so rich looking. And I know so many people that are afraid to do it, and there's really not a lot to it at all. So I encourage you to try this process. Now I'm just going to get the parts that are still sticky. If they're not sticky, of course it's not going to take the foil on them. And you see I only took out as much foil as I'm using so I don't have a bunch of foil or metal flying everywhere. I'm just going to kind of rub that piece around. Now on the instructions it tells you to take a brush and lightly dust the parts off that aren't going to stick. Now I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. I like to rub mine off. So what doesn't come off, I didn't want to do the sides, so we want to try and keep them off the sides. I am just simply going to take my finger and kind of rub, because I'm pushing it down and it's getting rid of the other part as well. And see why I wanted to kind of leave that kind of broken so it doesn't look solid. You could do it solid if you want. There's no reason you can't. That's just the way I wanted to do it today. Now see, that wasn't bad at all, was it? You have that real fun, different technique. Now the next thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to take my mini gourd toppers and we're going to apply the wax. I'm not going to get into detail about how to do the wax process. If you have any questions about that, visit my website at miriamjoy.com, and on there is a nice DVD that goes into a lot of detail on how to do the process, or any of the class DVDs as well. Now today we're going to be using our templates. We usually draw the lines on, and today I'm going to be doing it just a little bit different than normal. Instead of drawing those lines on because I'm worried about the gold coming off, we're actually just going to hold it in place while we put our color on. So I'm going to hold it there, and I am going to put my brown crayon, and I'm using dark brown because that's the color we picked up. Now because of the gold, these strokes are not smooth, and that's okay. We want it kind of rustic looking. There's no right or wrong on this. You can see they're not quite as smooth as when we normally, got one piece I should have rubbed a little bit harder. So we just want to pop it and just kind of give it more of a look. You also can draw little lines on here so you know when you go to your next square where you're going to put your template right on there with the charcoal pencil. If the charcoal pencil doesn't write for you well, take your lighter or go to your gas stove and light that tip up until it gets kind of soft, and then it will draw really dark again on your gourd, or in this case on the little pieces of rubber that I'm trying to use. Now you can see this isn't real nice and even. We're just trying to get the design on here. I just really think this is a really cute thing you can make for somebody's birthday or something fun like that. So, and it really looks like it's a very expensive little piece, I think, at least. And this is just the regular brown in the 24 pack. I try to stick with the 24 pack as much as possible. I'm shaking a little bit more because I'm hurrying a little bit here today, and there's not always room to rest your hand on there. The more you rest your hand, the easier it is to get those strokes on there. So now we've just have those kind of shell looking patterns, and all I'm going to do from there is simply glue one of my copper pieces on, and this is actually part of the Miriam Joy line. This is we're the, as far as I know, the only distributor for these. This comes straight out of Globe. We got a new batch in. These are real copper. People always don't believe us, but this new batch is even a lot more colorful and prettier than the last batch, so they just really accent it very well. So you have this cute little box. On this one, I took some little shell embellishments and put them in the corners. You could do that with any of the colors that you pick up in here as well. Would be fun to do, just to kind of add a little bit of accent to that. But now see, that wasn't bad at all. The gold leafing was a really easy process. Don't be scared to do it. And the brown that we left open really accents the brown that we added to the box. So I think that was a fun little project. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you have any questions or anything about this little video, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. For any of the products that we use today, please visit my website at miriamjoy.com. Also on there, there's a Facebook link. You can jump over to Facebook under Miriam Joy Gourd Creations. There's always a new picture posted every day of the gourds or projects that I'm working on there. And also visit the rest of my YouTube videos. We've got a whole bunch of them, and I'm always trying to put up current ones on there. So thank you for joining me today. Have a blessed day.